The time by Kyrie Chris is 6 p.m. Time for CBX Business News. The business news headlines is brought to you by QMax Wealth Management, making more possible. Hiring controversy, record profits in the Eastern Caribbean, and Big Tech's next automated frontier. Hello and welcome to CBX Business News for Wednesday, July 2, 2025. I'm Neil Wood. Thanks for joining us. Coming up in the newscast locally, government clarifies selection process for the head of the Financial Investigations Division following mounting public concerns. On the regional front, Eastern Caribbean Central Bank reports record EC 126.2 million net profit for the 2024-2025 financial year, its highest institutional return to date. And over on the global stage, Amazon deploys its 1 millionth robot, while Microsoft prepares for thousands of layoffs in a strategic shift toward AI and automation. Stay tuned as we unpack these stories and more right after our first break.
Caribbean dreams, instant turmeric tea. What you put in is what you get out. What you put in is what you get out, yeah. Build up your body, boost up your brain. Take on the world now, say bye-bye pain. Caribbean Dreams, instant turmeric tea, be good to you. Caribbean Dreams, instant turmeric tea. Distributed by Amalgamated Distributors Limited.
Hi, I'm Nielsen Rose, host of Let's Talk Stocks, reminding you that health is indeed wealth and time is really money. Why not spend a little time with us? Weekday mornings, 9 to 9:30 a.m. for your daily dose of business, economic, and investment insights.
Let's all get fit. This summer set drip. Hip dips and split. Power in the mind, let's get healthy with it. Sometimes your body's so hard, but your body wants it. And then your head is so home, and it's so like this. So we gotta go 1, 2, 3. One more now. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. One more now. 1, 2, 3. One more now. 1, 2, 3, go.
Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances Limited has been a part of Jamaica's manufacturing landscape for over 20 years. By crafting unique flavors and fragrances, we have become a part of your favorite household and food items such as beverages, ice cream, household cleaners, and much more. Known throughout the Caribbean for the highest quality, we continue to innovate with strong leadership, a dedicated team with integrity. We go the extra mile for our customers. Create the next taste sensation. Contact us at 876-923-5111 or visit our website, Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn pages.
Has so much book you need for high school?
I'll show you how to make sure you have all the money for my books and even some extra. It's called budgeting, Dad. Making a budget is the most important thing you can do to track your money. It keeps a record of how much you make, how much you spend, where you spend it, and most importantly, how much you can save. Write down all your income, write down all your expenses, see where you can cut down and allot more money to more important things, like saving.
Mikey, is what sweet you saw?
Yeah, dear babes. Where's the catty? We are going party tonight.
Party? You secure your future yet? Careless.
The
Did you know that over time the stock market has provided a reliably high return on investments? Be sure to contact a licensed stockbroker for more information on this exciting investment opportunity.
Taking care of business, Mikey.
Yeah, Cathy. I'm securing my future. Want to come look over my stock portfolio?
The Jamaica Stock Exchange, providing a fair, efficient, and transparent stock market.
The local news is brought to you by Derriman Trading. Better from the start. Development Bank of Jamaica, facilitating economic growth and development. Caribbean flavors and fragrances, tease the senses, and Pulse Investments. Welcome back to CBX Business News. We begin with a story that has sparked national debate about transparency in public appointments. The government of Jamaica has moved to clarify the selection process for the new Chief Technical Director of the Financial Investigations Division, Dennis Chung, following growing public scrutiny and a recent call from the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce for greater transparency. In a statement issued earlier today, the government revealed that the recruitment process was led by the Public Service Commission and began in November 2024. An independent interview panel was convened and a candidate was selected, but later declined the offer after initially accepting. The position was subsequently re-advertised using the original job description, which allowed for equivalent qualifications and experience in fields such as law, public administration, or criminal justice, with at least 5 years in a senior law enforcement role. Reaffirming its commitment to transparency and merit-based appointments, the government expressed confidence in the process and the final selection made to lead the FID in executing its anti-financial crime mandate. The Ministry of Tourism's push to increase the use of local products and services in Jamaica's hospitality sector is set to receive a significant legislative boost. Speaking over the weekend at the 64th Annual General Meeting of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, JHTA, at the Dreams Rose Hall Resort in Montego Bay, Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett told hoteliers and allied members to expect new legislation that will strengthen the integration of local supply chains into the sector. Minister Bartlett, who has long championed Jamaica owning the supply side of its tourism industry, said the government is now actively working to make it happen. He noted that assessments are being carried out to determine the country's current supply capacity, particularly as the hotel sector pivots to expand luxury accommodations. The minister explained that this will be achieved through the ministry's Local First initiative, which will pass legislation and implement incentives to ensure greater participation of Jamaican manufacturers, farmers, creatives, and professionals in the tourism supply chain. The initiative builds directly on the Agri-Linkages Exchange Alex online platform's success and Jamaica's achievement of 40.8% tourism dollar retention. The Alex platform connects local farmers directly with hotels, restaurants, and other tourism-linked buyers, helping reduce spoilage, cut imports, as well as boost rural incomes, and has been a major win for local farmers, especially those supplying the tourism sector. NCB Insurance Agency and Fund Managers Limited has been appointed as an investment manager for the Tourism Workers Pension Scheme, a key initiative to improve financial security for Jamaica's tourism workforce. Under a 3-year contract beginning June 30, NCBIA will manage part of the fund, which currently holds about $3.7 million and is expected to grow as more workers contribute. Established in 2020 by the Ministry of Tourism, the scheme supports thousands of formal and informal tourism workers, including hotel staff, tour operators, and craft traders. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett emphasized the importance of the fund's role in strengthening social security for tourism workers.
Of the
takeaways that we want from our program to develop the human capital in tourism and to build social security around our workers is to enable an immediate appreciation of a better quality of life through housing. And in building this pension fund, I have great anticipation that when we get to $10 billion in savings, we can begin to look at creating a portion of it for tourism housing for the workers of the industry.
Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett. Meanwhile, head of NCBIA, Antonio Spence, says the agency is passionate about providing tourism workers with much-needed financial security.
Financial security is very, very meaningful. It is the means by which people pay their bills. It is a means by which they go to the supermarket or market. It is something that fundamentally touches their lives once they've gotten to retirement. And for us, as a business that is so focused on building a better Jamaica, what higher aspiration could we possibly have than to be able to take care of all Jamaicans through the provision of a pension arrangement, and specifically to all of the members of the Tourism Workers Pension Scheme, to be able to provide them with financial security at a point when they are no longer able to work. It's something that we're passionate about. Giving them that security is something that we work every single second of every single day to make sure that we deliver on, and we are going to deliver on that for all the members.
Head of NCBIA, Antonio Spence. Now to trading news from the Jamaica Stock Exchange. 107 stocks traded on the JSE Wednesday, of which 36 advanced, 50 declined, and 21 traded firm. Leading the winners were MPC, Caribbean Clean Energy Limited, US dollar. Cygnus Real Estate Finance, US dollar. Medical Disposables and Supplies, and Sterling Investments. While the losers were led by Iron Rock Insurance Company, Cygnus Real Estate Financial, Jamaican dollar, Jamaica Public Service Company 7%, and Mayberry Jamaican Equities. Now the main index declined by 2,270.65 points, or 0.72%, to close at 311,691.44. The junior market index also declined, but by 28.38 points, or 0.82%, to close at 3,431.61. And it's time for Market Education Feature, brought to you by CariCris, Regional Ratings, Global Standard. In today's Market Education Feature, we turn our attention to an important pillar of quality assurance in the pharmaceutical industry, good manufacturing practice, commonly referred to as GMP. GMP refers to the systems and standards that ensure medicines are related products and GMP refers to the systems and standards that ensure medicines and related products are consistently produced and controlled according to quality standards appropriate for their intended use and product specifications. These practices are essential in both production and quality control, requiring that manufacturing processes are clearly defined, properly documented, validated, and routinely reviewed. GMP guidelines also ensure that the right people, facilities, equipment, and materials are in place to maintain high standards across the production life cycle. The Market Education Feature was brought to you by CariCris, Regional Ratings, Global Standards. And that's it for Market Education Feature and the end of the local segment. Please stay with us. The regional business news is up next. news is brought to you by Darriman Trading. Better from the start. Development Bank of Jamaica, facilitating economic growth and development. Caribbean flavors and fragrances, tease the senses. And Pulse Investments. Welcome back, and now for news from across the region. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, ECCB, has posted its highest ever net profit of EC $126.2 million for the 2024-2025 financial year, marking a major milestone in its history as the institution presses forward with bold economic reforms. In his foreword to the annual report, Governor Timothy N.J. Antoine described the period as one of resilience and ambition, even in a VUCAA world, a term he coined to reflect volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity, and anxiety. Despite global geopolitical and climatic shocks, the ECCB-led Eastern Caribbean Currency Union ECCU economy expanded by an estimated 3.7% in 2024. The governor also underscored the continued strength of the EC dollar, which remained firmly pegged at US $1 to EC $2.70. At the end of the year, the ECCU's foreign reserves stood at EC $5.5 billion, providing a robust 97% backing for the currency, well above the 60% statutory requirement. Antoine noted that progress was made on key initiatives such as boosting financial inclusion, establishing a regional credit bureau, and launching a regional regulator to strengthen citizenship by investment (CBI) programs. On the financial inclusion front, the ECCB made strides toward easing burdensome documentation requirements for opening bank accounts, while advancing plans to create an office of financial conduct and inclusion to protect consumers. A sweeping increase in the national minimum wage took effect yesterday in St. Kitts and Nevis, raising the rate to $500 per week, despite fierce resistance from the business community and growing fears of mass layoffs, business closures, and deepening economic instability. Prime Minister and Finance Minister Dr. Terence Drew pushed ahead with the controversial move, citing a long-standing campaign promise and what he described as a moral obligation to improve workers' lives. The administration says the increase will help workers better meet their basic needs. But business leaders across the Federation are sounding the alarm, warning that the timing of the increase amid a stagnant economy with the lowest growth rate in OECS could spell disaster. In a tense, high-level meeting held last week, representatives of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, small business associations, and the wider private sector urged the government to delay or phase in the increase. They warned that businesses are already buckling under rising inflation, high operating costs, and reduced consumer demand, and that this new wage burden could force many to slash jobs or shut their doors entirely. As the private sector scrambles to adjust, calls are growing for the government to introduce support measures, delay implementation for vulnerable sectors, or risk tipping the economy into deeper stress. In other news, Barbados is making a bold pitch on the global stage to reshape the future of farming in island economies, unveiling a comprehensive 5-point agricultural development framework aimed at helping small island developing states SIDS overcome structural challenges to food security. Delivering the proposal at the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization FAO General Conference in Rome, Minister of Agriculture, Food and Nutritional Security, Indar Ware, urged the international community to rally behind small nations that are disproportionately affected by climate volatility, import dependence, and land scarcity.
The first one will be climate-smart, localized technologies. Then they must be affordable and adapted to smallholding environments, including drought-resilient crops, low-input systems, and renewable energy solutions.
Barbados' Agriculture Minister, Indar Ware. Now to trading news from the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange. 19 securities traded on the TTSE Wednesday, of which 5 advanced, 6 declined, and 8 traded firm. Leading the winners were Calypso Macro Index Fund, Grace Kennedy, Guardian Holdings, and Unilever Caribbean, while the losers were led by Ansa McCull, Trinidad Cement, Scotiabank TNT, and CIBC Caribbean Bank. Other results include the All TNT Index declining by 17.94 to close at 1,489.68. The Composite Index declining by 9.35 to close at 1,019.29. And the Cross-Listed Index also declined, but by 0.02 to close at 72.23. And still remaining at 91.81 is the SME Index. And we take a short break, but please do stay with us. The international news segment with Nielsen Rose is up next.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. In the international news today, private businesses in the United States cut 33,000 jobs in June of 2025, marking the first monthly decline in employment since March 2023. This follows a downwardly revised loss of 29,000 jobs in May and falls significantly short of economists' expectations for a 95,000 job gain. The service-producing sector was the primary driver of the decline, losing 66,000 jobs. Key losses occurred in professional and business services, 56,000, education and health services, 52,000, financial activities, 14,000. These losses were partially offset by gains in leisure and hospitality, 32,000, trade, transportation and utilities, 14,000, as well as information, which was up 5,000. Meanwhile, the goods-producing sector added 32,000 jobs, with increases in manufacturing 15,000, construction 9,000, natural resources and mining 8,000. On the wage front, annual pay growth for job steers edged down slightly to 4.4% in June from 4.5% in May. Job changes saw a modest decline in pay growth as well, from 7% to 6.8%. The unemployment rate in the euro area edged up to 6.3% in May, rising from a record low of 6.2% in April and slightly exceeding market expectations. The number of unemployed individuals increased by 54,000, bringing the total to 10.83 million.
The youth unemployment rate, which tracks job seekers under the age of 25, also ticked up to 14.4%, matching a downwardly revised figure from the previous month. Among the Eurozone's largest economies, Germany reported the lowest unemployment rate at 3.7%. The Netherlands followed closely with 3.8%. Spain continued to face the highest rate at 10.8%, and France and Italy posted rates of 7.1% and 6.5% respectively. Despite the monthly increase, the jobless rate remains slightly lower than a year ago when it stood at 6.4%. Rivian reported a 22.7% year-over-year decline in vehicle deliveries for the second quarter of 2025, as rising tariffs and economic uncertainty dampened demand for electric vehicles. The EV maker delivered 10,660 vehicles in the quarter ending June 30, which was down from the same period last year, though the figure was in line with analysts' expectations. The drop in deliveries comes amid a challenging environment for the EV industry. New trade tariffs imposed by the U.S. government have slightly increased manufacturing costs, forcing automakers like Rivian to reassess supply chains and production strategies. Additionally, high interest rates and a shift in consumer preference towards cheaper hybrid and gasoline-powered vehicles have further pressured demand. Rivian also missed production estimates, building just 5,979 vehicles in the quarter, well below the 11,330 units forecasted by analysts. The company is currently preparing to launch refreshed 2026 models of its R1T pickup and R1S SUV, which may have contributed to the slowdown in output. Despite the headwinds, Rivian reaffirmed its annual delivery guidance of 40,000 to 46,000 vehicles. However, the company acknowledged that tariff-related costs could squeeze margins, especially as it ramps up for launch of its more affordable R2 SUV line in 2026. Shares of Rivian dipped about 1% in pre-market trading following the announcement. In a striking sign of accelerating workplace automation, Amazon has deployed its 1 millionth robot across its global warehouse network, while Microsoft is reportedly preparing to lay off up to 9,000 employees. Amazon's milestone reflects a decade-long investment in robotics, with the company now nearing parity between its human and robotic workforce. The latest robot, delivered to a fulfillment center in Japan, is part of a broader strategy to boost efficiency. Amazon also unveiled a new generative AI model, Deep Fleet, designed to optimize robot coordination and reduce delivery times by 10%. Meanwhile, Microsoft is bracing for a significant workforce reduction, with reports indicating that as many as 9,000 jobs could be cut in the coming weeks. The layoffs are expected to affect multiple divisions as the company continues to restructure amid shifting market demand and increase integration of AI technologies. Together, these moves underscore a growing trend in the tech industry. Automation and AI are reshaping the workforce, with companies investing heavily in technology while scaling back on human labor. And those were your international business stories. After the break, join Neil for your recap.
Alexia Beckford. You're watching CBX, your region, your business, your source.
Welcome back, and now to recap our top stories. Locally, government clarifies FID leadership selection amid transparency calls. And on the regional scene, ECCB reports record EC $126.2 million net profit for the 2024-2025 financial year. And internationally, Amazon deploys its 1 millionth robot while Microsoft prepares for thousands of layoffs. Those were the stories making today's CBX Evening News. On behalf of Nielsen Rose and the entire production team, I'm Yanil Wood, thanking you for watching CBX, your region, your business, your source.